Welcome back on Dynamo. Today I want to propose you a video about the review about the facts released the 7th January 2021 by the Games Workshop related about the Codex supplement of the Blood Angels. I want to remember you anyway that to have a full note about the Blood Angels Codex, you have to see these facts, but also the facts related about the Codex of the Space Marines. And about this, in the description, I'll leave you the link about the facts that has been related about the Codex Space Marine that has been released, also those ones, the 7th January 2021, so you can go to see them and eventually go to see also the previous ones about the Codex Space Marine, because each time I'll only upgrade the facts that have been released, and you can see, so if you're interested about the previous fact eventually and compare them so that you can each time see what new has been released. So now we can start to see the facts about the Codex supplement of the Blood Angels. So we can begin. And the first fact that you can find is related about the secondary objectives of the Blood Angels, and it's related about the Blade of Sanguinius Purge Enemy category. In fact, it allows you to add a sentence that is quite important. In fact, if the model that accepted the challenge is a strategic reserve or reinforcement unit and is destroyed as a result of not arriving on the battlefield, all of the above conditions are considered to have been satisfied, so you gain the maximum amount of points available. So it's really quite important, because it means that the opponent can't hide the model, making it that it stay in the reserve, eventually sacrificing also the mod itself, but it has eventually to make it arrive and then hide or make in the way that you can't catch it. So it's quite important. But on the other side, it's important for you, because you can try to make in the way that the model, if it's in the reserve or strategic reinforcement or so on, anyway, it's not allowed to arrive on the battlefield. In such a way, you can make in use, for example, if you are able to kill the way to make it arrive and so on, that it's forced to stay in the reserve, and so not arrive, you gain all the points. So it's quite important one. Moreover, because you have to remember that it can arrive only till the end of the third turn. So it's a really quite interesting way to control the way. So force the enemy to make arrive the model that you challenge, or eventually force the enemy to kill the model, so that you are able to make that model is killed without having to challenge. So eventually you can even try to challenge a really strong model, and it's a way make a sort of gameplay of mind. So it's quite interesting in such a way. And then we have an important game change for FAQ, that it's about the Fallen Fury, that it's the stratagem related about being able to move the unit of the Death Company before the battle. And it says that you can only use the stratagem once. So it's quite important, because technically you don't have any limit to the amount of time that you can use such type of stratagem before the battle. So okay, you can anyway use only once on the same unit, but you could have had more units of the tech company to use such once in such a way, so the strategy related about having a lot of units about the dev company completely changes. So it's quite a way to limit a lot a type of way to play such unit. So it's a bit of pity, because it really limits a lot a way to characterize your army. But you have only to accept. Sincerely, I don't like such thing, not because I play the Blood Angels, but sincerely because I don't understand why it to be limited in such a way, because I don't think that it's really correct to do, because it's a way to give a why. Otherwise, it would have been better if from the beginning such strategy would have been tested in complete another way. So make such, for example, the unit move twice or so on in the first turn. It would have been much better, and would have been limited it really only once for each way. So I really don't like in the way that has been done such change, because it completely changed the way to use such stratagem. And then we had the fact related about the Sanguine and its aura of favor, that make that it's not cumulative with the additional attack granted by the shock asset, and it's the same as before, this one, or, and this the added, the honor payment relic from the Codex of the Space Marine, that is let you add in a attack, but not combining also that one with the shock asset. So it's a way to make that if you're going to use this, you don't have that bonus of attack, so gaining even more. Okay, remember that the Sanguine it's a unique charter, so it can't use anyway some relics, but remember that it can be close to a model that can. So in such way, having such combination would have been added a lot of attacks. So preventing such combination, you can in some way say that or you use one thing or you use another thing. So it will have been a quite lethal combination that has been avoided. I can say that I'm totally agree with it, but I don't think that it's so bad. So I think that the number of the relics that you have that you can use and you can have available is so great that it's not something that it's really so important about. But remember that such combination has been prevented now. And I will have a fact about the Dev Company intercession and its war gear options that has been changed in the 4th and 5th bullet points, in the way that has been changed the way that you can give to a model these weapons. So remember that it has been changed and there are little differences but are quite important. So now a model can have its bolt rifle, auto bolt rifle, stalker bolt rifle or heavy bolt pistol replaced with one of the following, that it's one hand flamer or one plasma pistol. Instead before it was only about the heavy bolt pistol. Then we have the other 2 points that has been, I can say, shuffled, so they change a bit the way that they can work. Anyway, now it's that if not equipped with an Astartes chainsword, power fist, power sword or thunder hammer, he equipped with one of the following: one Astartes chainsword, one power fist, one power sword or one thunder hammer. Then the other option that you have is that if it has the Astartes chainsword replaced with one of the following, that it's one power fist, one power sword and one thunder hammer. So it's a way to make clear what you can change and how you can change the weapons about that model. So remember about such one. So it's a little change, but it's important that it's more understandable and more clear what and how you can change, and I can say that it's more varied the options that you have about the change the equipment of that specific model of such unit. And then we have a change about the priorities of the rules. Usually the codices has the priority on the rules of the core book and eventually also the missions. But in this case it's said that the mission pack has the precedence on the ability of the model. In fact, the Sanguine has the ability Miraculous Savior ability that it works in the opponent turn, but if the battle round is the first and the mission pack restrict unit arriving from the battlefield in the first battle round, it can't arrive and use its ability. And I find it that it's not good, because it means that it changes the way that you are able to use an ability that you pay for that model. So, because the maximum part of the missions of the mission packs restrict such arriving in the first battle round, it means that you can't use such model in such a way. So I don't find it a good thing, because it changes the way that you can refer about the priority of the rules themselves. Anyway, you have only to remember such one, but I don't like that a rule specific for this model has been restricted in such a way and you pay for such rule, so I don't like it. Still, it's anyway good the Sanguine, because you can arrive in the next battle round anyway, and it's good anyway. Okay, the first battle round seeing units of the opponent charging, it's not so, I can say, it's not so immediate, it's not something that happens so often, but still it's something that it's a void that could have happened, so I don't like such way. And I have an important fact that it's related about the Artisan of War warlord trait. In fact, this would allow you to give a special issue war gear to a character, but remember that the special issue war gear can't be given to named characters or to vehicles, and it specifies this fact that you can't give to a vehicle character this special issue war gear. So in the case, for example, of a Librarian Dreadnought, you can give the Warlord trait of Artisan of War, but you can't gain any bonus, any of such benefit. So for the Librarian Dreadnought, such Warlord trait will be useless, because even if you give this one to that model, you can't give a special issue war gear to that model itself. So it's a way to specify that the rules about the war gear have the precedence about the warlord trait itself. So remember about such option. And then we have a fact that is simply a confirmation about the work of a stratagem that it's Unjust Sacrifice. So that if the character is going to use such stratagem, it involves only the models in the engagement range of such model. So it means that if, for example, it's specified, for example, you have 10 models of the opponent unit and only one is the engagement range, only that one will be forced to target the character, but the other 9 models, because they are not in the engagement range, are not forced to do so. They are free to target any other eligible unit. So it's a way that you can specify the work of such one. In a way, it was really understandable also before, but it's a way to make you be sure how it works. And the last fact that you can see is a one that it confirmed a way to work, that it was really understandable, but it's a way to specify so it's not misunderstood. So it's about the division to slay the War Master, so that it's used instead of making any attacks. And it says that if that model use such ability that can't make attacks, it's only related about the model with the ability, so the Death Company one, and it's not related to the enemy infantry character or monster character. So it's a way that only that character that has the death ability, that it's using this death vision to slay the War Master, it's forbidden to make attacks and instead makes automatically the mortal wounds. So it's such different that it's I don't think that it's something that it was misunderstandable, but it's clarified really definitely how it works. I can say to be happy about such fuck and errata, because the main part of them are a decreasing in power about the Codex supplement of the Blood Angels. Okay, I play Blood Angels, but I find it anyway quite not good to do, because they are partial one anyway, such fucks. I like the one that clarify some things, for example the part about the Death Company in the Chessos, or the one about the Artisan of War, because simply they clarify how some things work and make it that it's better understandable. So I can say that they are a mess, but I'm not totally really glad about such fucked errata. Remember anyway that you had to combine these ones with the errata and facts of the Codex Prismarine that you can find in the description. So, from Dynamod it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.